3:57 a.m. Northern European waters. The sea is calm. Low waves roll under a grey pre-dawn sky as a US Navy destroyer conducts what is officially described as a routine maritime patrol in international waters. Nothing appears unusual. No alarms, no warnings, no public alerts, but beneath the surface, sensors are already watching something move. 4:02 a.m. First contact. The destroyer's surface search radar picks up a new contact on the horizon. At first, it appears routine, a single vessel moving on a steady course. Then, identification data resolves. According to unverified naval tracking data, the contact matches the profile of a Russian Navy surface combatant, possibly a frigate or corvette, operating independently. Distance, approximately 18 nautical miles. At this range, there is no immediate threat, but history has taught both navies to take nothing lightly. 4:06 a.m. Shadowing begins. The Russian warship adjusts course, not dramatically, not aggressively, just enough to place itself on a parallel track with the US destroyer. This maneuver is subtle, but deliberate. Naval analysts later describe it as controlled shadowing, a tactic meant to observe and signal presence without escalation. 4:10 a.m. US destroyer shifts posture. Inside the destroyer's combat information center, watch officers elevate the contact's priority. Weapons remain safe, fire control systems remain inactive, but sensors sharpen. Electronic support measures begin monitoring emissions from the Russian vessel. Still, no hostile intent is assumed. 4:14 a.m. Distance closes. The Russian warship reduces the gap, now inside 12 nautical miles. This distance matters. Within this range, missile engagement timelines shrink, fire control systems become relevant, reaction windows drop to minutes. The US destroyer does not alter course. This is intentional. Changing course could signal discomfort, or worse, weakness. 4:19 a.m. Electronic signature change. Unverified. Here is where the situation shifts. According to unverified OSINT observers, US electronic warfare sensors detect a change in the Russian ship's radar emissions. Not search radar, something more focused. Fire control radar. 4:21 a.m. What fire control radar means. This is critical. Fire control radar is not used for navigation, not for general surveillance. It is used to track a specific target, provide targeting data, support missile or gun engagement. Activating it sends a clear message. You are being targeted. This does not mean a weapon has been launched, but it means the system is now seconds away from being able to do so. 4:23 a.m. US destroyer confirms lock. Unverified. Multiple sensors confirm the same conclusion. According to unverified reports, the Russian warship has placed the US destroyer under fire control radar illumination. Inside the combat information center, the atmosphere tightens. This is no longer a routine encounter. 4:25 a.m. Rules of engagement take over. The destroyer does not respond immediately. No weapons come online. No radar locks are returned. Why? Because doctrine matters. Understanding rules of engagement, radar illumination alone does not justify firing. Escalation must be deliberate. Command authority must be consulted. This restraint may prevent war or delay it. 4:28 a.m. Command escalation. The incident is elevated beyond the ship. Regional Naval Command is notified. Fleet-level oversight begins. According to analysts, this is the most dangerous phase, when frontline units wait for higher authorization while staring directly at potential adversaries. 4:31 a.m. Why this is so dangerous at sea? Escalation is fast. From radar lock to missile launch can take seconds. There is no warning shot, no time for negotiation, no second chance. Everyone involved understands this. That's why restraint is terrifying and necessary. 4:35 a.m. US response. Controlled signaling. Instead of locking back, the US destroyer takes a different step. It adjusts speed. It maintains course. It increases sensor coverage. This signals, "We see you. We are not panicking." But weapons remain cold. 4:39 a.m. Russian warship holds lock. The fire control radar remains active. Not pulsing, not intermittent. Steady. This persistence deepens concern. According to naval experts, prolonged illumination increases the risk of misinterpretation or automated response errors. 4:40 4:42 a.m., Allies quietly watch. Though the public is unaware, Allied naval and air assets in the region are now monitoring the encounter. No aircraft scramble, no reinforcements move visibly, but readiness shifts quietly. This is now an international incident, even if no one admits it yet. 4:46 a.m., a single decision could change everything. At this point, several options exist. The US could lock back, the Russian ship could disengage, either side could maneuver aggressively. Each option carries risk. Every commander involved knows that history will judge this moment. 4:49 a.m., something unexpected. Just as tension peaks, sensors register a slight fluctuation in the Russian radar emission pattern. Not a shutdown, but not a full lock either. Analysts later debate what this meant. A warning, a calibration, a signal of restraint? At the time, no one knows. 4:52 a.m., standoff at sea. Two warships face each other, one illuminated by fire control radar, the other refusing to escalate. Missiles are loaded, guns are manned, commands are waiting. 4:53 a.m., the most dangerous silence. For nearly 4 minutes, nothing happens. No course change, no radio call, no radar disengagement. This silence is not calm, it is volatile. Naval analysts often describe moments like this as compressed war, where diplomacy, restraint, and force exist within the same minute. Inside the US destroyer, combat teams remain at condition yellow. Missile cells armed but safed close-in weapon systems, tracking but not activated electronic countermeasures primed. Every system is ready, but waiting. 4:56 a.m. Why the US does not lock back? This decision is critical. Many viewers might ask, why didn't the US immediately return a fire control radar lock? The answer lies in doctrine. Locking back would confirm mutual targeting, trigger automated threat response protocols, reduce political room for de-escalation. By not locking back, the US keeps escalation reversible. This restraint is deliberate and extremely risky. 5:01 a.m. Russian intent, signal not strike. Analyst assessment. According to several naval experts, the Russian warship's actions fit a familiar pattern. Assert presence, test US reaction thresholds, send a political message without firing fire control radar. In this context, becomes a psychological weapon. It says, we could fire, but we're choosing not to, for now. 5:04 a.m. Command level intervention. At this point, the incident has escalated beyond the captains. Fleet command enters the loop. According to unverified defense sources, senior commanders instruct the US destroyer to hold position, avoid aggressive maneuvering, prepare for immediate defensive action if radar lock persists. This is a tightrope. Too passive and deterrence weakens. Too aggressive and conflict ignites. 5:08 a.m. The first signal of change. Then something shifts. Electronic support measures aboard the destroyer detect a brief interruption in the Russian fire control radar signal. Not a shutdown, but a break. This matters. Fire control radar is not casually cycled. Interruptions usually indicate command reassessment, weapon system safing, or receipt of new orders. 5:11 a.m. The lock drops. Unverified timing. According to unverified OSINT reports, the Russian warship disengages fire control radar entirely. Search radar remains active, weapons stay trained forward, but the targeting illumination ends. This is the turning point. The most dangerous phase is over. 5:13 a.m. US response. No celebration, no pursuit. The US destroyer does not react theatrically. No aggressive maneuver, no triumphant signaling, no pursuit. Instead, sensors continue tracking. Weapons remain ready. Distance is slowly increased. This response communicates one thing: we're done, if you are. 5:17 a.m. Russian warship changes course. Moments later, the Russian vessel alters heading. Not a retreat, not a withdrawal, but a divergent course, increasing separation while maintaining visibility. This confirms the encounter is ending, not escalating. 5:22 a.m. Why this moment matters. Nothing was fired, no missile, no gun, no warning shot, and yet this incident will be studied for years because it demonstrates how modern naval conflict almost happens. Through sensors, not shells, through algorithms, not orders, through seconds, not speeches. 5:26 a.m. Behind the scenes, diplomatic channels activate. While ships disengage, diplomacy quietly activates. According to analysts, defense hotlines are likely used. Incident reports are filed. Political leadership is briefed. None of this is public, but it is essential. 5:30 a.m. What could have gone wrong? Experts later identify several failure points: a sensor misclassification, an automated defensive response, a misunderstood maneuver. Any one of these could have triggered a real engagement. That it didn't is not luck, it's discipline. 5:36 a.m. Strategic message sent. Both sides achieved something. Russia demonstrated reach and nerve. The US demonstrated restraint and readiness. Neither side backed down. Neither side escalated. This is modern deterrence. 5:41 a.m. Why the public may never hear about this. Incidents like this often remain unannounced. Why? To avoid panic, to prevent political escalation, to preserve diplomatic flexibility. But analysts know these encounters shape doctrine, posture, and future behavior. 5:48 a.m. The real takeaway. This was not an accident. This was not random. It was a controlled confrontation, one that tested boundaries without crossing them. But the boundary was close, uncomfortably close. Today it was radar. Tomorrow it could be something else. And next time, restraint may not hold. The sea went quiet again, but the message was loud. This wasn't a battle, it was a warning.